Welcome to the Just in Time podcast. I'm your host, Justin Chute, and I'm excited to be with y'all today. NBA regular season starts on Tuesday, and I'm currently watching the last Spurs preseason game as I record this right now. This is episode 18. I got some special guests joining me today. As we're going to talk mainly basketball in today's episode, more specifically Western and Eastern Conference standing predictions. As always, shout out to the editor herself, my little sis Mary Chute. Joining me today are some familiar faces. We've got DeMarco Escobar, Kris Sneed, and Alan Talamantes joining us for episode 8. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Hey.
Now, before we get right into the video, we're going to get a quick word in from our sponsors of today's episode. Shout out to High Jump Party Rentals and 4K the Barber. High quality party bounces and party packages available along with an up and coming barber service. You can reach out to either or at 210-799-6930. Chris and Erica will take care of y'all. If you need a haircut, you need a party bounce, they're your people to go to. You can hit up Kris Sneed and he'll take care of you with the haircut or for a party bounce. I mean, hey, I'm telling y'all, these are the people to go to. They got A+ hospitality, and the cooler weather is, it's approaching Texas. I know it's hot this weekend, but the cooler weather is coming outside, and kids need something to go out there and have fun with. So why don't you give them a bounce for the kiddos? And if you need a haircut again, Christopher will take care of you. I mean, he hooks me up every week or two, so he leaves me 100% satisfied, and he's gonna leave y'all 110% satisfied. So he never lets me down. And if you're in the San Antonio area, get out there today. And shout out to LoveLee Creations by Jen. She creates beautiful one-of-a-kind wreaths and arrangements for all the seasons. Unique designs using old lassos, antlers, antique containers, repurposed wood, and more. Owner and creator Jennifer McPhaul loves custom orders. You can let her bring your vision to life or create a beautiful and unique gift for someone special. You can follow LoveLee Creations by Jen on Facebook and Instagram to see all of her items and what's available to purchase. If you mention the Just in Time podcast, you'll receive $10 off any purchase or custom order. Shipping and local delivery is available on all purchases. You can welcome friends and family into your home with an inviting wreath or add a pretty arrangement to your dining table created by LoveLee Creations by Jen. All you gotta do is give her a chance. You can catch LoveLee Creations by Jen at the Red Rock Community Center on October 28th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a market day and a fall festival going on from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again, that's at Red Rock Community Center. There's going to be lots of games, family fun, and shopping will be there. So, and LoveLee Creations will be there. So go out there, support the Just in Time channel, and you'll receive a discount with Jennifer and her amazing creations if you mention my podcast. All right, fellas. Y'all got the Eastern Conference standings pulled up. Did y'all do them?
Yes.
Or no? Did you get a chance to, Marco?
Nah.
All right. Well, you can just do it as we talk.
All right, let's go.
Chris, you ready?
I'm gonna add him on here.
We're just gonna talk about it. We're not gonna show it. So,
off the top of your head.
All right, we're just gonna talk about the Eastern Conference standings predictions today. As you may know, the East is not as stacked as the West, but still a lot of great teams in the East and a lot of familiar faces we're going to talk about today. We're going to work from bottom to top, so we'll start with the worst team of the East, and then we'll go from 15 to 1. Does that sound good?
Detroit.
Yeah. We'll start with 15, and we'll since Chris is already talking about it, we'll say what we got for 15. We'll talk about why.
Sorry, it's Detroit.
You had Detroit, Alan. What about you?
Me, I have the Washington Wizards.
Okay. Marco, who do you think the worst team in the East is?
The Wizards is crazy. I'm going Detroit.
Detroit?
Wow.
I personally have Charlotte. I think Charlotte, from top to bottom, is just the worst built team out of the East. I think Detroit and Washington got more competitors and veterans on there that can help them win games. So, since we all had different 15s, let me hear y'all's 14 and 13 then.
14 was I had Charlotte.
Okay.
14 Charlotte, 13 Toronto.
13.
Oof. Yes.
Okay.
I don't see them winning a lot this year.
That's crazy. Marco, do you have the link that I sent you for enjoypredictions.com?
For the what?
He sent it to the group chat.
Or are you looking at the
Oh yeah,
script?
yeah, yeah.
You can just refer to those or make them as you go.
13, Toronto.
So, Chris, you had Detroit at 15. You had Washington at 14.
No, I had Charlotte at 14.
Oh, Charlotte at 14, and then Toronto at 13. Why did you have Toronto at 13?
I don't see them winning this year at all, bro.
Did they lose Pascal Siakam or?
They lost Fred VanVleet.
You know who's the best?
So Fred
That
VanVleet
was their main scorer, and you lost him.
Lopez.
but you didn't lose anything else that made your team great.
They're not gonna win without him.
I think you could replace his inefficient 20 points per game scoring.
OG trash. Scotty Barnes, he's okay. Pascal's your best player, but he can only do so much. He plays the 4.
All right. All right. I already talked about Charlotte a little bit. I had him at 15 because I don't think, if Melo doesn't play a game for them, then they're just not going to be a great team, I think, a competitive team. I think Brandon Miller is a rookie, might have some bright spots, but he's going to look inefficient this year. Gordon Hayward's, he's a guy that they're trying to get rid of on the trade block right now. He'll probably be shipped off by the deadline. Terry Rozier, I don't know what you're doing with him. It's just a lot of they're trying to figure out what their foundation is. And I had Washington 14. You haven't said Washington yet. So you got them above Toronto right now.
Yep.
Washington for me, I think outside Jordan Poole, he'll be doing a lot of scoring this year. That team is still, they're under a whole new regimen. Bradley Beal's gone. They got a lot of young talent there, but not a lot of guys that can compete, win you games in the East. And dang, I just think it's surprising that you had Toronto at 13 because to me, Toronto's always been a playing team or they've always been a playoff team. So for you to think that they're going to just drop out of the playoffs with the loss of Fred VanVleet is kind of surprising to me.
Their conference is really tough.
It's not that tough. When we break it down, that means you have other teams rated higher than them. That means you have Chicago higher than them. You have Orlando.
Always. Chicago's always been better than Toronto to me.
Whoa.
Okay, remind you, Lonzo Ball's not playing the entire season. He is out. Don't matter. It will matter when you got Kobe White playing point guard for you, and he's going to have to match up against Scotty Barnes at point guard or something like that.
Scotty Barnes will never play point.
We don't know what the lineup's going to look like this year, but Alan, let's hear you walk you down through 14 and 13.
At 14 I got Charlotte, and then at 13 I got Detroit.
That's where I had Detroit at. I put Detroit at 13.
Hey, bro.
I just don't think they're gonna improve much. The rosters didn't really improve. I think they got another year or two in them for them to even make the play-in my opinion.
Wait, who you said Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte and Detroit.
Yeah, I think Charlotte, Washington, and Detroit are all in the same boat. They're all young teams. They all got some bright pieces to the rosters, but overall, they're not going to win you a lot of games. And if I had to pick a team to do the best, win percentage-wise, I'm going to take Detroit because of Cade Cunningham and, the potential that he brings compared to the stars of, Charlotte and Washington. I'm not counting on LaMelo Ball to win me, 40-plus games and get me to a playing spot. No offense to LaMelo. LaMelo just needs more to him. He needs other guys to step up on his roster. And Washington, I'm not expecting Jordan Poole to do that. You can already see right now in preseason, Denny Avdija is not liking the way they're meshing on the court. So, they're all not that far apart. They all will be lottery teams for sure. So let me hear y'all's 12. Orlando. Okay. Chief?
My number 12 is Chicago.
Marco, what would you put at 12?
Put at 12?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have any faith in Chicago. I would have probably put Chicago right there at the number 12. I agree.
Bro, you gotta sleep on DeRozan and Levine.
I'm not sleeping on. You know what? Levine is good. Levine is great. DeRozan, I feel like he's kind of leaving his prime. But Levine, he's definitely gonna show out every time he's on the court. I'm not gonna lie. But,
to me, we've seen what this Chicago Bulls team can do.
yeah, and I think
It's
that was
not anything that's special. Like,
yeah.
to me, it's barely going to get you a playing spot. Like, that's their ceiling, is a playing
Yeah.
spot.
Yep.
They don't get no
Without
higher
Marcus
than that. He's
there,
not
they're
lying.
going to
He's
be
not
able
lying.
to, compete.
Yeah, I think Chicago is one of those teams that's like, they're good. They're not great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they got great players, like we said. We're mentioning Zach LaVine, who, could be an all-star talent. DeMar DeRozan was an all-star before, but, DeMar's like 32, 33. He's on the decline. Not a great three-point shooter, not a great defender. So, I mean, with those two things right there, it's just, what are we doing? And then, you're expecting big jumps out of Patrick Williams this year. And, you're hoping your rookies. You didn't have a first-round pick this year. So, I mean, it's just kind of a weird spot for Chicago right now. And I think I had Chicago at 11. So I had them falling out of the play-in for sure.
That's where I had them, 11.
I had Orlando at 12. And I think
Oh, wait,
Orlando.
no, excuse me. I had Washington 11, Chicago 10. They can flip back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know if Washington's going to do all that good. To me, the bottom 5 teams of the East, they're not going to do good. And if anyone's going to do good out of these 4 or 5, it'll be Chicago or Orlando, and it'll just be barely sneaking in. Let's talk about Orlando for a second, though, because I had him at 12. Kris had him at 12. Alan, where'd you have Orlando at?
Orlando, I have them making the last play-in spot at number 10. Yes.
Marco, where do you have Orlando slotted at?
Orlando?
Yeah.
You know what? Orlando's kind of one of those teams I don't really see too much change with. I'll probably put them at number 11.
Yeah, to me, there's a lot to like about this Orlando team. From top to bottom, they got a bunch of good stars, a bunch of good young stars, a lot of first round picks on their team, highlighted by Paolo and Franz. But to me, I want to see them go through it. I want to see Paolo take that jump from a 20-point score to 25 points per game. I want to see Franz, get to the 20-point per game. I want to see some more people step up. That's what I'm waiting for, Orlando. And I'm waiting for a guard to kind of emerge out of that spot because, they got Markelle Fultz, Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. Which one of them is going to step up and be that guy for the guard position?
Yep. I feel you on that one.
Which guard do y'all like out of all those 4? Which one do y'all like the most?
I think Jalen makes the jump.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs?
I think he makes the jump this year.
Jalen Suggs is how long he's been in the league so far?
This would be a 3rd year.
I think, Jalen Suggs, he's kind of been like, I feel like he's been a huge, like, kind of role player guy, not definitely like a star player. But this the year.
Yeah. I like Anthony Black the most out of that group, but it's just because he's the youngest, he's the tallest, he's the most versatile defensively and stuff like that. He kind of brings a lot of athleticism to the group. But I like Jalen Suggs a lot. I liked him out of the draft in 2020. I think the best one right now is Markelle Fultz, but it's only for a little bit, a limited amount of time. I'm expecting Suggs and Anthony Black and Cole to pass him up at some point. But for right now, Fultz remains the best scorer and probably the best to get the start day one. All right, fellas. Let's move on to the second spot. We're going to talk about who we got at 10. So who do you have at 10? Chicago.
I had Orlando.
I had Toronto. Who would you put here, DeMarco?
Probably Toronto as well.
Toronto. Yeah. I think with Toronto here, there hasn't been a time where they missed the playoffs, I believe. And if ever since they had Siakam, they've been a consistent team. You know what their floor is, and they're going to get you to the playoffs no matter what. And the only big thing that they lost this year was Fred VanVleet, but they kept everybody else, Everybody that was good defensively, they kept. They added Dennis Schroeder to kind of take over that point guard role. And, he's had a very good summer as far as FIBA and preseason goes. But I think Toronto's a better team than Chicago, Orlando, Detroit, Washington, and Charlotte right now. So that's why I got them slotted at 10. Y'all said y'all had some other teams at 10. Tell me y'all's explanation as to why they're better than all the other teams we talked about before and why they'll make the playoffs or the playing spot.
We're talking about the 10th spot, right?
Yeah. Why are they better than teams 11 and 15? Why would they make the play-in?
I had Orlando. I think a big part of it is because of Paolo. I think he's going to make a somewhat big jump to his year 2. You got Franz. He's going to make a big jump also. And I think just those two is going to push him just enough to make the play-in tournament.
Yeah, Orlando's a good pick. You're definitely counting on your younger guys taking a jump, but talent-wise, it's basically you got the proven Toronto. They play playoffs every year, and then Orlando, just as talented, could be more talented. They just haven't proved it yet. So I'm hopeful for them too. That's a good pick. I wouldn't mind swapping those two out if I had to redo this. Kris, you had Chicago at 10, right?
Yeah, Chicago.
And
Wow.
you just high on Levine and DeRozan?
It's just all or nothing for them. They're getting up there in age. Well, me and Levine are the same age, 28. So Levine not that old. But DeRozan is, so it's all or nothing.
Yeah. I'm just a little fearful of that.
And the big situation, like all or nothing for them.
I get it. It's all or nothing for them, but
They made the play last year.
I just see these younger teams, and I think they're going to get better. All right, that's cool. We're going to move on to number 9 now. I had Brooklyn at number 9. I'm curious to see where y'all had at number 9.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I also had Brooklyn too.
DeMarco, what you think?
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. What made Brooklyn have such a great record last year, a lot of it was that, beginning part of the season with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They did a lot of the carrying. Nicholas Claxton had a good year. Then that blockbuster trade hit like halfway through the year where they got Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Completely rejuvenated their team, brand new look and stuff. But, you're talking about you're getting Ben Simmons back. He's been playing preseason ball for the Nets. He's looked pretty good. Kind of crazy to see because he has been good the last 5 years, it seems like.
He's out of the league next year.
Mikal Bridges he had a pretty good, postseason run last year. You're kind of hoping he takes another jump for Brooklyn, and I think he's capable of it. I just think the half-court offense is going to be stagnant a little bit. They don't got a true point guard that can play make like that. Shout out Spencer Dinwiddie, but I don't think he's going to be the only one getting it done. I think there's just some more pieces that can be done to this team. I think their first-round picks were excellent this year. They took Dariq Whitehead, and they also took the Alabama big man. I'm blanking on his name right now. But, some solid first-round picks. They're talented enough to make the playoffs, make the play-in. I just don't think they're better than teams 1 through 8. So we can move on to number 8 since we all talked about Brooklyn already. And I had the Indiana Pacers at 8. I'm curious to see who y'all had at 8.
I also had Indiana too.
Yeah, Indiana?
Yes.
DeMarco, who would you put at number 8?
Number 8, I feel like it's definitely interchangeable between Brooklyn and Indiana. I don't think they're two very different teams. I feel like they're kind of in the same position. And honestly, they've had a lot of ins and outs with certain players, and it kind of feels like just a general base kind of team. They're kind of in the middle kind of team,
Yeah. Indiana. Kris, who'd you have at number 8? We didn't get to hear yours. What'd you say? Oh. Who'd you have at number 8?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, we all had the Pacers. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Chris, why did you have Atlanta at number 8?
They can't get it done. They don't have the right assets to get it done.
So you don't believe in the roster construction of this team?
No, and the coaching. I don't believe in the coaching either.
Do you know
That
who's
system
coaching the
don't
team right now?
Huh?
Do you know who's coaching the team right now?
Is it Nate McKillen or some shit like that?
No, he got fired last year.
It's Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, Coach Quinn Snyder. He used to coach the Jazz, the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert Jazz. You're making that face, but have you gotten a chance to watch them preseason?
No, but I
They've
don't care
looked a
about
lot
preseason.
better, man.
They're worse
This
than
is-
Michael Jordan.
I will say this: under the Nate McMillan staff, Trae Young was not doing any sort of off-ball offense. If it came to, anytime they were on offense, Trae had the ball, or he wasn't effective at all. Now they got him looking more and more like Curry out there, where he's coming off screens. He's getting more involved as a three-point shooter, so that's good for them. Kris came out. We'll get him back in here in a second. But, yeah, we all had Indiana 8, so we'll talk about that right now. I think this is a good year for Indiana. I think they're going to jump up high. I think they got a lot going for them right now. They got Tyrese Halliburton. Here, Kris is here. We'll put him back in here. Nah, you're good, brother. We talk about Indiana right now, 8. And I think they're going to have a pretty big year. Tyrese Halliburton, I think he's going to take another jump. We saw Miles Turner's last year have a career year. They just picked up Obi Toppin from New York. He's going to be very good at the power forward spot. They drafted Jarris Walker. He's a defensive-minded power forward out of Houston in the first round. Benedict Matherin's going to take a jump this year, I feel. They signed Bruce Brown, Denver Nuggets champion. Bruce Brown, he's on their team now. I think this Indiana Pacers team is going to be fun, and they're going to be very good on offense. One of the more exciting offenses this year. And, I think they'll be pretty good for a playoff spot.
I got them at 7.
7? Okay, yeah. This would be a good segue into 7. So you had them at 7. I had Miami Heat at 7.
It's Jimmy, bro. I got him up.
Actually, I don't know. Miami Heat at 7.
The reason I put the Heat at 7 is because they didn't have a good offseason, and they don't really do good in the regular season. However, they're going to make the playoffs because it's Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. They're talented. And
I feel like they're always a great team, though. I feel like they're a top 4 team.
Because motherfuckers stay in shape.
But they don't. Like, last year was a terrible year for them because of the injuries. It felt like there was always somebody crucial out for them the whole year. And
they're flying through, though.
I think the teams above Miami from 1 through 6 will have a better regular season than Miami. But no question about it. If we're talking about the playoffs, then that's an entirely different conversation. But since it's just the regular season standings and how we see the regular season going, I think they're going to be 7th. Alan, who do you got at number 7?
Number 7, I got the New York Knicks.
I'm curious, who were the Knicks ranked last year? Weren't they like 5th?
Yeah, I think they were 5th or 4th. I could be wrong, though.
And you got them at 7?
Yes.
Talk us through.
6.
Yeah, I got them pretty high. Talk us through why you got them a little low. I think he's lagging a little bit.
Oh.
You good, boss?
It was lagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lagging. I don't know why.
You good now? All right. Talk us through why you got New York.
All right. I have the Knicks at okay. I got them at 7 because I don't think they made any major changes like that. It's literally just the same team. I mean, they got DiVincenzo. He's coming off the bench. They got Josh Hart coming off the bench. They got Quentin Grimes. That's that one spot that they need to fix, that shooting guard.
So I kind of see where you're going for it. You're kind of waiting for another star to kind of break out for him. Who's going to be the guy? Is it going to be Grimes, RJ Barrett? Somebody else to help out Brunson.
I agree with that take, Alan. I agree with that take completely.
I agree too.
There you go.
But I have him at 6.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
good
you
stuff.
got we're talking
We
about
had him
number
at
7.
6. Hey, talk about what makes you like the New York Knicks at 6, Chris? What's your favorite?
They're a complete team, but they lack certain things
What do they lack?
like resiliency.
Okay.
They lack that because they're young. And Jalen Brunson's good, but he's not A-tier point guard.
Wow.
He's a B tier. You
What's an
put a
A
body
tier
on
point guard?
him. You put a body on him, and you stop his game. That's it.
What's an A tier point guard? I'm curious to see who you got in that category.
Those are like the Currys. Chris Paul in his prime. You can say
Right
right
now, who's an A tier
right?
point guard in this league right now?
There's not many. There's not many. So you
Why are you
got
knocking Jalen Brunson for not being A tier?
huh?
Why are you knocking Jalen Brunson for not being A tier?
I don't like his game, but I don't think he can lead.
I feel like that's the reason for a lot of people.
I saw
Wow.
a
I don't
take
think
on
he can
Twitter.
lead.
I sent it to Alan, and I think it's very true. Jalen Brunson is just a 6'1" version of Shea Gilgeous.
Mm.
They play the exact same way. Middies,
You know what? That's
post
not a horrible take.
lots of lays. They're tough, but Brunson is 6'1", so he ain't getting all the love. I got New York at 3, so
That's high as fuck.
I thought they
That
had a
is
great year
insane.
last year. And all your points, Alan, as to why you think they won't be a good team are fair and valid. But I think Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, Grimes, Barrett, this is a team that can defend. Outside of, even Brunson can, defend a little bit. This team plays hard on the defensive end. They crash the glass really well. The only thing is, offensive wise, who's going to step up besides Brunson? Is it going to be Randall giving you 20 a night? I think it's going to be RJ Barrett. He's been steadily climbing each year. I think this is the year he finally creeps up into the 20 points per game as a scorer. Mitchell Robinson's still pretty good. I like New York. I got him at 3, but we're going to talk about our number 6 teams right now. Chris said he had the Knicks at 6. I'm curious to see what Alan and DeMarco got at 6.
Probably Philly.
Oh, you go first.
Probably Philly.
Philly?
Wow.
I got Philly at 6 too, Alan. Who do you got?
That's low.
At number 6, I got the Atlanta Hawks.
Actually, I may go Hawks, yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about the Hawks right now then.
Because I feel like the Hawks are kind of like, they're not young, but they're not old. They're not like inexperienced, but they're not veterans. You know what I'm saying? And
Chris,
I think,
where did you have the Hawks? You had them very low on your list.
Yeah, I'm at 8.
8.
Wow.
And
That
y'all
is
have them at 6. I had the Hawks at 5.
interchangeable.
I think the way Quinn Snyder is going to coach this team is going to work this year. I think he's going to find a way to maximize the talent on this roster. I think last year was kind of a bad year for him because DeJounte, it was his first year coming back from that major injury and after getting the big payday. I think he looks comfortable in the offense now. I think Trae Young looks a little bit better. He's coming off of a year where, he's faced a lot of criticism and he wants to play for the Olympics next summer. He's going to show everybody why he's capable of doing so. I like Atlanta a lot this year. That's why I have them number 5. Y'all have Atlanta at 6.
Yes.
Moving into number 5, who do y'all have at number 5?
At the 5th spot, I got the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat.
Yes.
I got Cleveland.
Cleveland at 5.
Cleveland at 5.
I had Atlanta at 5, and I didn't talk about Philly, but we'll talk about Philly as soon as somebody else mentions them. We already talked about a little bit about Miami. Is there anything else for Miami? Any breakout stars or?
Oh, that one kid from UCLA. What's his name? Jaime
Jaquez.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's good. I expect him to be in the rotation at some point.
I feel because they got rid of Max Strus, so having him, that's a good replacement.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
Mexican.
Mexican, but he can hoop, dog. He can hoop.
Yeah, he's Mexican. Jaime Jaquez Jr. He came from UCLA. He's nice. He's like 6'7", and he can do it all. He's kind of a jack of all trades.
Woo!
There you go.
That's the Christopher Sneed build.
So let's move on to number 4. Number 4, let's hear it.
Miami.
Wow.
Philly.
Number 4, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I got Cleveland at 4, but let's talk about Philly since DeMarco mentioned it right now. I had Philly at 6, and for that reason, it's because what's going on with James Harden. If you still have Harden on this roster and he's not playing any games for you, and you're just rolling out an 8-9 man rotation without Harden, that's a waste of like $30+ million that you could be using on a superstar to help out Embiid. I like Tyrese Maxey. I like Joel Embiid. I like some of the additions they made to the roster. They got Kelly Oubre. Patrick Bev came back to the team. I don't really like the production Tobias Harris is giving you. He's real inconsistent to me for what he's getting paid. Yeah, I got him at 6. I think unless they make a good trade for Harden or they get something back in return, then I think the teams above them are just primed to have a better year than them. But you got the reigning MVP. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and carry you for another season.
Great.
I had Philly at 3.
Yes,
DeMarco,
I have Philly at 3 also.
Philly at 3. Marco, what's your favorite part about Philly this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Man, I always thought James Harden was like very dominant offensively, especially since they got him and Joel Embiid paired together. Joel Embiid just coming off of being the MVP. They're guaranteed to shine. And I think regardless of like them having the same kind of squad, I think they're still gonna produce the same kind of outcome. I kind of see them like the Nuggets in a way.
That's an interesting take on it all. I just think that James Harden is not going to be a 76er anymore. He's already made it clear he's not going to play for him. He's not going to any practices, not showing up to nothing.
I thought he said he was going back.
He didn't show up today.
Wow.
He hasn't practiced in like 2 weeks or weeks.
Never mind. Take away. Put them at number 12.
Wow.
6. This is without Harden playing. I think they'll be the 6th best team in the East.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I didn't know James Harden for sure wasn't going. I thought he was going.
I think Tyrese Maxey, this is the time to buy in all the stock. He's going to jump up like crazy this year. He might be an all-star. Tyrese Maxey is going to get a lot of volume if Harden's not there. That's basically all the shots that he's going to be taking at the guard spot.
Yep. Tyrese Maxey is he a good replacement for James Harden though?
He already is. What are you talking about?
Good job scoring and a little bit of playmaking. He's kind of a De'Aaron Fox. He's quick and twitchy, good athlete. But yeah, you want to replace Harden for something. If you can get something in return. He requested a trade to the Clippers. Y'all think that's going to happen?
No.
No.
The only way it happens is if the Clippers trade Terrence Mann, and they said he's untouchable for some reason.
That trade's not going to happen.
If it does happen, it could happen on Monday. Just letting y'all know.
I hope so.
It could happen as early as Monday. I mean,
are we going to see another
weekend?
Another 3-part?
It'll happen before the season starts if it's going to happen.
It is.
Will Kawhi get him another ring if that happens?
I don't believe in the Clippers, man. We'll talk about the West a little bit. I don't believe in the Clippers. They've never shown consistency ever. So you're counting on a whole lot that they've never done. But we're going to talk about number 4. I had Cleveland at 4. Alan had Cleveland at 4. Man, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. How do we feel? This is Jason's favorite team. Shout out to Jason. God, I think my favorite player out of this Cleveland Cavaliers team is Evan Mobley. Who are y'all favorite players from the Cavs?
I like Mobley. I like Garland.
Like DG.
Gotta go with D Mitch.
Yeah. This team is very good. They're very young, and that's the great thing about the Cavs is their young core is all around the same age. They drafted Amani Bates this year. That's gonna be exciting to see, Christopher. I know you're a big Amani Bates fan.
Believe the
He's
hype.
real
He'll
good.
be starting. I
Imani
said
Bates, not just a
by
shooter on the
26
court.
games, he'll be starting.
By what?
26 games.
Oh, by 26
Imani,
games. 26
Imani
games in, he's
Bates?
gonna be starting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Imani
Watch it.
Bates, he's
Yeah.
not just a shooter on the court.
He's a problem, bro.
He's a problem on and off the court.
Yeah,
This guy.
I like Cleveland. They're a good team, and I think as long as they keep DG, Mobley, then they'll continue to be a good team. I've heard some rumblings over the offseason that they're when the next contract extension comes around for Donovan Mitchell, they're not going to renew it. They're going to try to bring a different type of star into Cleveland.
Wow.
So
I would.
that's pretty interesting to hear. And I want to hear y'all's thoughts on the Jared Allen and Evan Mobley fit. Is that something y'all think y'all can see long term, or do y'all think eventually Cleveland's going to have to ship off Jared Allen?
It's the Twin Towers, bro. Keep them together. Keep those motherfuckers together. It's hard to stop them, bro.
Alan, what you think?
Me personally, I think it's time to let it up. You gotta trade Jared
okay.
Allen away. And it was evident when it showed in that Knicks series that Jared Allen couldn't shoot. He can't shoot. So what is he gonna do? Just stand in the paint, clog it up for Evan Mobley. And
He's like Allen on 2K.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you kind of expect or hope that Jared Allen can show some ability to shoot. I'm a huge Jared Allen fan, Pokemon legend, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see on that one. I like the fit of Mobley and Allen personally, but I get the doubts. I get the concerns. He wasn't good in that playoff series at all. So let's move on to number 3, fellas. I had the Knicks at number 3, but we all have different ones. So let me hear y'all's 3.
Miami Heat.
Miami,
Yeah,
Philly.
I had Philly.
Philly. Yeah.
Philly number 3? No.
Yeah.
No
You had
James
Miami,
Harden.
Chris?
Philly.
Oh, you had
No
Miami.
James Harden number 3?
What's wrong with that?
No James Harden number 3. Y'all think
That's
Philly?
crazy. That's crazy.
Don't matter. You got
That's
Yeah, it
fucking
doesn't
crazy.
really matter.
Embiid, Maxey, Harris.
Didn't you say you're not a fan of Tyrese Maxey's game?
No, I'm not a fan of fucking
Halliburton.
Huh?
Halliburton. It was Halliburton.
Halliburton. I had to put that motherfucker at 7.
All right.
Personally,
What? Honestly, y'all think Embiid is enough to get y'all as the 3rd seed in the East?
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Who the fuck gonna stop him?
I want what y'all have. Like
In the
I don't
East.
know what y'all are thinking, but I wish I could think the same thing.
It's like track, Marco. Like you in track. If we ask you a track question, you would know it.
Bro, even Justin saying this is crazy.
I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers are a top 3
Who
team.
can guard Embiid in the East?
It's been that way forever though, and they've never been
The motherfuckers are always ranked high every year.
They're a regular season team.
Look, this is how I see it. Yeah, it's just regular season standings, but this is how I see it. You're paying James Harden $40+ million, and that is just off the roster because he's not playing. And if you don't trade him, then that's just a waste of a roster space and money. So you're counting on Tyrese Maxey to take his spot, which I think he will do at a good level. But I just, you ask who can guard Embiid. Well, I'm looking at Boston, Milwaukee, and I see 2 teams that can guard Embiid. I'm looking at New York that Mitchell Robinson could potentially guard Embiid. I'm looking at Cleveland, who's got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen that can potentially guard Embiid. I'm looking at Atlanta and Embiid.
Foul trouble. That's exactly what all that is. Foul trouble. There's not another big in the East that can guard Embiid. He's too damn big.
Giannis?
Put Giannis on him. He's a 4. Embiid's a 5. Big fucking difference. Big difference.
Agree to disagree. Let me hear y'all's number 2.
Milwaukee.
I have the Celtics.
Milwaukee.
We'll talk about. I have Milwaukee.
Just get Lillard?
Yeah.
Milwaukee's number 1. Celtics
Okay.
number 2.
We'll talk about Milwaukee.
We'll talk about Boston right now. I had Boston at number 1 personally, but that's because I'm huge on Boston this year. I was huge on them last year. I think they should have been title favorites in my eyes. I think they're title favorites this year. I think that starting 5 is the best starting 5 in the league. You can't do it any better. You got Drew Holiday at the 1, Derek White at the 2, JT or Jason Brown at the 3, JT at the 4, Kristaps at the 5. That's a tall defensive lineup. They can all switch. They can all hit the 3 ball. That's why I think they're scary. I don't think any other team in the league matches up with Boston like lights out besides Denver. But I think Denver, honestly, that's probably a perfect match. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on Boston. Some of y'all have them at 2, so explain to me why y'all think they're the second best team.
I don't have
I
Boston
just
at 2.
think they're the second best team because they're not better than Milwaukee. They're a great team, but I think Milwaukee's going to be amazing.
And this is the regular season standing, so maybe Milwaukee does have a better regular season. Maybe they win more regular season games. With Boston, yeah, you're kind of hoping Kristaps don't get hurt. Yeah, Drew Holiday stays healthy. Those are key things for them. Yeah, if Kristaps gets hurt, then you got Al Horford to fill in the gap. But I mean, you want Kristaps to stay as healthy, for the whole season.
For me, I think they're the second seed, is because I think they're gonna do well, but I think they're just gonna rest the starters most nights, and I think Porzingis he's not healthy. He's not gonna stay healthy. They're gonna rest him for the playoffs.
Y'all think this is a year where Jason Tatum can be in the MVP conversation?
Yes.
I think he's always been in it.
I don't think this year, just because he's got too many weapons on his team.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. You're kind of, I want to wait and see what Drew Holiday role looks like. Is he just going to replace Marcus Smart and be like a 12 game scorer, or is he going to, get 15, 16, and he's eating up a little bit of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum's production?
Yep.
So we'll talk about the Bucks now, since some of y'all got them at number 1. They made the huge trade for Damian Lillard. So they got to, the reason why I put Boston number 1 is because I like the stability that Boston has. I think Milwaukee's got a ton of big changes with them. They got Damian Lillard, and they also got a brand new coach, Adrian Griffin. And if y'all weren't aware, their assistant coach, Terry Stotts, just quit like a few days ago. He got in an argument with the head coach, and he just quit on the spot. So, they're facing some problems over there, but nonetheless, talent-wise, Damian Lillard and Giannis, it's going to be an exciting duo. They got Chris Middleton still. They got Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez. Outside of that, not a lot going on for him otherwise. I think Marjon Beauchamp's going to have a big year. I don't know. What makes y'all think that Milwaukee is the number 1 team in the East?
I think they're the first seed because of the division they're in. It's just not good at all. And it's just going to be Dame and Giannis just dominating every game.
Who do y'all think is going to lead the team in points? Is it going to be Damian Lillard or Giannis?
It's got to be Giannis.
Yeah, it should be Giannis. But Dame going to get his.
If they want to be great, I think that Damian Lillard is going to have to be a role player.
A role player?
Am I lagging?
No.
What's so funny?
The way he said it.
That take is horrendous.
I'm just saying, like, not necessarily a role player, but the team is used to. I think the whole team is basically based around Giannis, as everybody knows. And once a team figures out how to stop Giannis, which is how they won the finals not too long ago, is once they figure out how to stop Giannis, they can't stop the people sitting in the corner on the wing. You know what I'm saying?
That was a fair argument to say if Drew Holiday was still on the roster, but because of the player Damian Lillard is offensively and what he can create shot creation wise, I don't feel like there's going to be a worry. I think Yeah, I think Giannis is going to have a great year. I think he's going to get like, you know, high 20s, 30-point per game score. And Damian Lillard is going to be right behind him at 27, 28.
I
They're
don't
both
know.
every night.
I mean, that would be good for
I
Giannis
think
because
Giannis
he
has
needs
never
some
had a
rest.
point guard like Damian Lillard, and I think Damian Lillard has never had a big man like Giannis. So I think this is a perfect fit for them. For the two.
Well, they're both once in a lifetime kind of players, you know.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some real bucks now, and I wanted to shout out M4 Ranch. Located in Page, Texas, M4 Ranch offers hunts for whitetails and handful of exotic species. They aim to share their passion of hunting in the outdoors with you, which is why M4 is run by our family for your family. They strive to provide customers with a great experience from the moment they arrive to the moment they leave, with not only the animals they came for, but also new friends and memories to last a lifetime. If you're interested in more information or booking a hunt, feel free to contact Clinton McPhaul at 512-304-0014, and I'll be sure to link their email website in the description of the video. It's a beautiful place, and I can confirm that these are some of the nicest and most welcoming people I know. Fun fact, LoveLee Creations by Jen, Axis Archery, and Clutterbug Organizing by Jamie are all located at M4 Ranch also. So there's more than one service out there if you're interested. Getting back to the video, fellas, that wrapped it up for the East. Now we get to talk about the craziest conference in the NBA, the Western Conference. This thing is stacked. And
I gotta go get the baby real quick. She's crying.
Go for it.
So y'all do y'all thing. Y'all talk about it, and I'll
15,
try
but
to
we're
join back.
14 when you get back.
All right. Y'all do thing. Y'all do y'all thing.
All right, man.
All right.
At 15, I had the Portland Trailblazers. I'm curious to see who y'all had at 15.
Yes.
Yeah, I also had Portland.
Yeah, the reason I said Portland, I just think out of all the teams in the West, they're the worst roster-wise. A lot of change. No Damian Lillard, so they're strive to win immediately goes out the window. I'm not saying they're not going to want to win games, but they're prioritizing getting those younger players better. Scoot's development, Shaden Sharp's development, Anthony Simon's development, stuff like that.
100%.
Which player do y'all think will be one that's going to get traded from Portland? There's a lot of tradable assets on that team. Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams. Which one of those guys do you think will get traded first?
I think it's gonna have to be Brogdon. Some contender's gonna want to have him come off the bench first. Somebody like probably the Clippers, honestly.
I can see the Clippers making a move for him if they don't get hard.
They got Scoot.
Yeah, they got Scoot Henderson starting at point guard for the Portland Trailblazers.
What do you think? He's next Dame?
He don't play like Dame.
No.
So he plays more like
two different completely game styles.
I don't know. Scoot kind of reminds me of like Russell Westbrook, like a better polished version of Russell Westbrook. Like his mid-range game is on point. Not afraid to shoot the ball, but he just looks polished as a point guard. I'm excited to see him progress as a Portland Trailblazer for sure. So you can see Brogdon getting moved. I think at some point, they paid Jeremy Grant a whole lot of money, and I can't expect they want Jeremy Grant on that team long term. So I can see them getting rid of him. What about Robert Williams? Y'all think Robert Williams is going to stay a Trailblazer by the end of the year?
Yes, I think so. I just don't see why they would move on from him. They need a backup center or possibly a starting power forward for him.
Yeah, I just think you could probably get a first out of Robert Williams if you were to trade him. There might be a contender.
I mean, they're already rebuilding.
Yeah. Since Kris ain't here, we can just move on to 14 as well. I think he's just going to want to mainly talk about 1 through 13 or 1 through 12. We'll ask his list when he comes here, but let's see. Is he even here? No, he's not even here. 14, I had the Utah Jazz. What did y'all have at 14?
Probably Utah, yeah.
I also had them at 14.
All right, we're all in agreement. Utah Jazz, and it's not to Utah was, I don't know if they were a playing team last year. I think they were in the playoff hunt most of the year, and then towards the end they crept off the playoff play-in journey. But very talented team. We saw what Larry Marketing could do. Walker Kessler looked very good for them. You're expecting a big year from Colin Sexton, Taylor Horton Tucker, and all those that are coming back. I love the draft picks they had. Taylor Hendricks, Keontae George. Shout out Keontae George from Baylor. He was one of my favorite players to come out of the draft. He's a bucket. And they also selected Bryce Sensabaugh, which is pretty good. I like Utah. I just think they're still some years away from actually doing some damage in the West compared to these other more talented teams. What do y'all think of Utah? Who's y'all's favorite player from this Utah Jazz team?
I definitely got to go with THT. I think he's a sleeper for him.
Yeah, Taylor Horton Tucker is nice.
Is Jordan Clarkson still with them?
Yeah,
Yes.
Jordan Clarkson is with them. He had a great year with them last year.
So why didn't you say Jordan Clarkson?
Because that's the obvious choice.
Clarkson right now.
Huh?
Why don't you shout out Jordan Clarkson right now?
Shout out Jordan Clarkson. Shout out, I believe his sister lives in San Antonio now. She plays basketball in San Antonio.
Yeah, I think Clarkson played for Wagner.
Yeah, he did play for Wagner.
Yeah.
Shout out Jordan
That's
Clarkson. Went to my
Yeah.
rival school. I never spoke with him though. My brother has though.
All right, moving on to number 13. I had the Houston Rockets.
Yes,
I have at 13.
I can agree on that.
I have the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, I had the Pelicans at 12. So to me, you can just interchange these two teams. They're both very similar roster-wise. I think I had Houston at 13 just because I think Şengün's gonna have a good year. I think Jalen Green's gonna have a good year. I'm kind of waiting to see what Fred VanVleet looks like with this team during the regular season. He's an undersized guard. Kind of see what he brings to the table. Tari Eason, a lot of talent on this team. They're just very young, and they still got a lot of years to grow. Jabari Smith is only 20 years old. Jalen Green's only 21, 22. So you got time for Houston. It's not urgent for them to make the playoffs right now. Other than the Pelicans, who are, they got a talented team, but man, it seems like they can't make the playoffs. It's like Zion Williamson can't play basketball. Brandon Ingram can't stay healthy. And CJ McCollum is not in his prime anymore. So, I mean, do y'all think this is the year Houston or New Orleans stays healthy and they compete a little bit? Is Zion Williamson going to play basketball this year?
Definitely gonna. I feel like they definitely could stay healthy. I mean, like as an athlete, because sometimes injuries are like it's not your fault, but typically once one comes your way, it's very rare that you have another one following, unless you're Anthony Davis. But other than that, I think they definitely will be healthy this year. But will that make a huge difference to the team? Quite possibly. It might jump them to a number 18. That I don't think it's going to make them like a number top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
What you think, Alan?
I think they just can't stay healthy, and they won't stay healthy. That's just their lingo now.
Yeah.
I mean, when somebody gets injured, the other benefits from it, and it just doesn't work out like that because once they come back from injury, the other player is expecting to get their workload now.
Yeah, like they're going to go into the season right now, and they got one of their key wings out, and that's Trey Murphy. And you're expecting Trey Murphy to have a big year. I still think he can have a big year once he comes back from the injury. But, you're counting on Zion and Brandon Ingram to, play for you, and they haven't played a lot together. So for me to put them in a playing spot, I just can't do it personally. I'm going to talk about team number 11 now, and this is me. I'm a Spurs fan. I got the Spurs at 11. I'm very, very, very optimistic on the season. This is probably I would think 10 is probably their ceiling, honestly. Just looking at the rest of the West teams, I think they're all more talented for sure. San Antonio, they got Wembanyama. The Sales look very good in the preseason. Sohan looking pretty good at the point guard spot. This is a good team. Collins looks very good. It's just, everybody's young. Everybody's young. We got Chetty Osman. We got some veterans in there leading the locker room, but it's a young team, all led by Wembanyama. And as long as Wembanyama plays, then, we'll be a fun team. We'll be a team that competes every night. But, as soon as one of these guys goes down with injury or something big happens and we start to lose a little bit and we're in the losing column, I'm afraid that the season's going to get away from us. That's my fear.
They got the bench to do it, though.
Yeah, Wembanyama is 19, so if you're going to pick a time to be bad, now is the time, I guess. But I don't see
Wait, he's 19?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. 19? Side topic. Do y'all think Wembanyama is dealing with the kind of LeBron treatment?
Yes.
It's on that spectrum. And the same way how LeBron came in the league and they were giving him, you got to be an all-star, you got to be a Hall of Famer, you got to win some chips, you got to win some rings, you got to win some MVPs. They're doing the same thing to Wemby. And it ain't just, basketball fans, it's casual fans know about Wembanyama. It's that kind of popularity that he has. So just something different that San Antonio has never seen, I think, in my eyes. You're probably looking at the most talented player San Antonio has ever had on the roster, period.
That's pretty reasonable. Definitely the highest potential.
Yeah, I would say so. I think Wemby can be an all-star if he stays healthy this year. I'm hoping he does. I'm hoping he has a great year. I mean, I got San Antonio 11. So who did y'all have at 11?
At 11, I had the Houston Rockets.
Okay. Where did you have San Antonio at?
Number 12.
Oh, okay. And you had Oh, okay. I got you. I had Houston at 13, New Orleans at 12,
Yeah.
San Antonio 11. You just swapped them around. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so as a San Antonio fan, Justin, why do you have them at 11?
I think the teams that are rated above them, 1 through 10, all have better rosters. They all have all-stars on their team that are already shown it. Last year, they were all in the play-in or already there. You're looking at San Antonio, who basically just added Wembanyama to the roster.
But wait, the Wembanyama is not it's not just. I mean, you know this better than anybody here. That he's not just your average. He's not a role player.
Joe.
He's definitely a player that you got to build your team around. So I feel like that's a huge difference, and I feel like it sets him apart from being like a.
Yeah, well, honestly, when you're looking at other people rank the Western Conference, they got San Antonio at 15, 14, 13. And it's because they see Wembanyama as the main guy, but they look at the rest of the roster and like they don't believe in it. And that's fair. But
that is fair, but it's like the Bucks though, were the Bucks like a number they're going to
like a lower.
I don't think they're a top 10 team without Giannis.
Well, I just think it's different. It's a different case scenario because the Bucks are in the East where it's not that competitive. Where you're looking at the West, and I'm literally seeing 14 teams that could be in the playoffs.
That's true.
And like, I'm not saying New Orleans and Houston and Utah aren't, good enough to make the playoffs because they are. I just think that San Antonio is, they have a better shot at doing that if they stay healthy because of Wemby. But I think the teams that are 1 through 10, I put them there because I think they've earned it as far as, the reputation, and they've already got guys that have already proven to get them to the playoffs already. So we can use that as a segue to jump into spot number 10. And I had the Spurs at 11, but I have the Oklahoma City Thunder at 10. And the reason I put OKC was because, they got a lot more guys that are already established. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, They got Josh Giddey at the 2. Jalen Williams was huge for him last year. Chet Holmgren's going to make his debut this year. They got a great bench, all filled with first-round picks. I mean, I think OKC is a very deep team as it goes in the West. I'm curious to hear what y'all had at 10.
I also had the Thunder at 10.
I had, and I like Shea Gilgeous. I'm a huge fan of Shea Gilgeous, but I don't think he can get it done. I mean, they're a pretty solid team, but I had them at number 11. I had Spurs at number 10.
And that's fair. I mean, I would have done the same thing, but I just think that Oklahoma kind of commanded a little bit more respect. And I think Shea Gilgeous, if you were to put him on the Spurs, he would probably be the best player on the Spurs right now. I mean, maybe you could make an argument with Wemby. I'm just giving Shea a little bit of the credit, a little bit of his flowers, because he made the All-NBA first team last year, I believe. So, I mean, you kind of got to give it to him. But moving on to number 9, I had the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Timberwolves, good pick. Anthony Edwards, amazing player. I like him.
Who did you have at number 9?
I had the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Only because they didn't really change their team around. It's the same team. They just had they added Seth Curry and what's his face? The first round draft pick. I forgot his name.
Olivier Maxence Prosper and Derek Lively.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna be starting for them. That was their real issue last season too. Was that center spot? It's gonna fix a bit of their issues, but not like that. I think they're gonna be okay. They'll be fine, but just not good.
Minnesota at 9, but they're interchangeable to me. I think honestly, Sacramento, Dallas, and Minnesota, and Oklahoma City and San Antonio, I think they're all kind of in the same boat. You know, these are teams that can make the play-in spot. They're good enough to make the play-in spot, but you know, talking about Dallas specifically, you're counting on Luka and Kyrie to stay healthy for the whole year. And outside of those guys right there, I mean, shout out to Irvin, but you know, they're just lacking some real depth pieces. You know, who's the one guy that's going to break out for him? Is it going to finally be Josh Green? I mean, I didn't think it was the way he looked in preseason, but maybe it's Jaden Hardy. I don't know. But
I don't really like Grant Williams this sign either.
Yeah, Grant Williams, I mean, he's cool as a personality and all, but, you know, I don't think he's the needle mover for you. I think Dallas needs to find a way to get another star. Like, they really need to look at ways of bringing in a Jeremy Grant or Pascal Siakam if it's possible.
Just to make the playoffs.
I had Minnesota at 9, so we can break down Minnesota right there. Where'd you have Minnesota ranked, Alan?
I had them at number 8.
8? Okay, so they're all kind of interchangeable right here. Yeah, huge Anthony Edwards fan here. I think he's going to be an MVP contention this year.
Michael Jordan.
He does give me shades of Michael Jordan. Yeah, I like Anthony Edwards a whole lot. I think he's going to be very good this year. I think that Minnesota team just got better. I think they finally added the right pieces. I think ever since getting rid of D'Lo and moving towards a more defensive lineup, they've looked a lot better. I think you're going to see a jump from Jaden McDaniels this year. I'm not sure how Towns is going to do. Towns is kind of a hit or miss. Some fans like him a lot. Some fans, they can't really stand him. So I'm kind of in the middle. He's a very good offensive big. You wish he would do more for you defensively. But, I mean, it is what it is. To me, this is Anthony Edwards' team. As long as he's giving you 30 a night and, you know, you're just supporting him, then you got a great chance at winning ball games.
Yep.
Do y'all think there's any trade or any other like hole Minnesota could look to add moving forward? I don't know who's going to start at the 1 this year. I don't know if it's Mike Conley or somebody else, but
Mike Conley. Damn, he's been around forever.
Yeah. I guess not.
I like Mike Conley, but he needs to go. He needs to go to the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of think that's the spot they need to upgrade, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they got something cooking in Minnesota. I don't have their transactional log, what they did this offseason in front of me, but we'll move on. I had Dallas at 8. Who did you already say who you had at 8, Alan?
Yeah, I had Minnesota.
All right, we can move on to number 7. Number 7, I had Sacramento. Who'd you have at number 7?
Yeah.
You go first.
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Okay. Alan?
Believe it or not, I had the Warriors.
The Warriors at 7. Okay. Well, we'll
Yeah.
talk about the Warriors in a minute because I got them a lot higher than 7. But Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox. I mean, we're talking about Sacramento, who had a light beam last year. They were on fire. They were the 3rd seed, right? They were the 3rd seed in the West last year. They played the Warriors in the first round and they lost in 7. De'Aaron Fox had a career year. Sabonis had a career year. Kevin Huerter had a career year. It just seemed like everybody was on a roll. Was it Keegan Murray? He looked very good for him. Malik Monk looked really good for him. They're a good team. They're a very good team. I just think the teams above them are a little bit better, and I would trust them in a playoff series more than Sacramento. But this is just the regular season standings. I think Sacramento's going to win a lot of regular season games, and they'll be in the playoffs.
Yes.
You said you had the Warriors at 7. I'm curious to hear why the Warriors at 7.
I have them at 7 because of I just don't think they have a bench. You got Chris Paul starting. He's going to be the shooting guard. And Clay at the 3, Wiggins at the 4, and Draymond at the 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Chris Paul is going to stay healthy enough. And that trade that they did with Washington is going to go down as an error for them.
That's a pretty interesting way of looking at it. I'm pretty high on the Golden State trade. I have them at 4. We'll break it down in a little bit when I get to 4, but that's a very interesting way of looking at it. I'm pretty high on Golden State. Let's talk about number 6. Alan, who do you got at number 6?
Number 6, I have the Clippers.
The Clippers, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Clippers. Clippers number 6.
You like Clippers at 6? I had the Clippers at 5. I had Memphis at 6.
If we're talking about where Memphis at number 5.
Alan, where'd you put Memphis on your list?
I have them at number 3.
You have a number 3. No Ja for
Yes.
the first 25 games, and you still think they're going to win the division.
I think Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson is good enough to get you some wins in the West.
What are you on?
Okay. Hey, it's fair. I didn't expect it. I got them at 6. I think that first 25 games, they'll probably be a 500 team. That's what you hope. If they're better than that, then that's exceeding expectations. You get Ja back on Christmas Day, I think, or right before Christmas. And, from then on, your season really starts. You get your superstar back, and like y'all said, y'all got Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams. You're kind of hoping somebody else steps up. Who else is going to be that guy? They got some depth on their team, but we don't know who's going to step up as far as the wing spot, because I feel like you got young guys like Zaire Williams and Jake Laveria from Wake Forest, but they haven't done anything, so you're just kind of waiting to see him. But yeah, I like Memphis. Y'all had LA. Y'all had the Clippers at 6.
Yes.
And we can break that down right now. I don't believe in the Clippers personally. It was hard putting them this high, to be honest. I think you're looking at the Clippers as a team that could fall out. And you're looking at the teams from 7 to 11 or 12 or 13, and they could easily take over the Clippers spot because they've been battling injuries for the entire Kawhi Leonard and Paul George era, it seems. One of them has always been hurt, And, that's not a knock on them as players because they're both super talented, probably both Hall of Fame bound. But, for Kawhi's sake, I mean, he was a Spur, so I know his knees aren't in the greatest health. And, Paul George, when he's healthy and when he's going, it's amazing. It's poetry emotion, but, you're counting on them to stay healthy. And I've never seen them both healthy, together on the court to do any type of success. I mean, I'm curious to see. Y'all think they're going to have a good season this year?
I think they are. I think they'll stay healthy enough to at least get them into the playoffs.
They're
Not
going
to
to stay
mention the
healthy enough
bench.
to get into the playoffs, but anything after that, I don't know.
If they were to play in the playoffs, so if we're just matching it up with 1 through 8, they would be playing the 4th seed. So who do y'all have at 4? I'm kind of curious to see who would y'all have them playing if they're in the playoffs. Golden
I have
State.
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yes.
See, that's an interesting matchup. So if it was the Kings versus the Clippers, I think that would probably go 6 or 7 games. But I would probably lean the Clippers that way because I think the Wings are a lot better in that scenario.
Yeah.
But if it was the Warriors, I would lean the Warriors in that case because I think that they would not. I don't think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can get it done guarding Curry this time around. I think both of them are way past that, time frame where they're going to just sit down and guard the best player. They're just not doing that no more. But yeah, I mean, number 4 spot, I had Golden State. Alan, you said you had the Kings?
Yes, sir.
And DeMarco, who'd you got at number 4?
I told you Golden State.
Golden State. Okay, so we're both in agreement. Yeah, Golden State. I'm really high on Golden State. I think the Chris Paul trade's actually going to work out for him. With Jordan Poole, he was a bucket getter, and he was really good for him when he was on the court. But he didn't mesh with Curry and Clay in that system very well. So you're bringing in Chris Paul, who's a natural point guard, and you're moving Curry to kind of be this more of an offensive going point guard as he already was, more of a scorer, more of a off-ball movement player, which he excels at already. So I think they're going to get the most out of Chris Paul. Most out of any team could probably get out of Chris Paul. They had some good signings in the free agency. They got Dario Saric. They drafted Brandon Podziemski and Trace Jackson Davis. Kuminga took a jump. Kuminga's averaging the most points in all of preseason right now, 24 points per game.
Kuminga.
The cum bucket.
I think the biggest thing for me is, how is Draymond and Clay going to do this year? Because I think Clay's the biggest issue for me because I think Clay is, he's wanting a contract extension. He still hasn't gotten the contract extension. Is he going to stay a Warrior after this year? What do y'all think?
Yes. I feel like Clay
He's got to.
is never going to leave. The only person I think that would leave, honestly, is Draymond Green.
Yeah. I mean, you would think if they're going to pick anyone, it's going to be Draymond be the odd man out, but, Draymond's still there. He's still riding strong. He's got his money. Clay's yet to get paid. We'll see if he gets paid.
Money
from there
to
on
Green.
Moving on to number 3. Who do y'all got at the 3rd spot?
I'm going to go. Yeah. Suns are hella stacked, but nah, I'm going to go Lakers.
Lakers. That's why I got the Lakers at number 3. Alan, what you got? I think Alan's frozen.
Me too.
Come on, Alan. We're almost done. He's low right now.
Oh,
You're
it's
right.
bugging.
You're good. All right. Who'd you got at number 3, Alan?
Number 3.
Yeah, we're almost
I
done,
had
Philip.
Memphis.
You had Memphis at number 3. It's right.
Yes, sir, I did.
You're insane.
They're good enough.
You're insane.
Hold Alan. Where'd you put the Lakers?
I had them at number 5.
You had them at number 5? Wow.
Yes.
I just
I
tell
just
you
don't
this
think
right now.
LeBron and AD are going to play that
Ron
much.
is coming for blood this year.
I think this Lakers team is very good to the point where I think if LeBron and AD were ever to miss games this year, they would still be fine and win games. Super talented. They got depth now. They drafted really good this year. I mean, you probably would have wanted them to get Cam Whitmore, but they got Jalen Hood-Schifino, who I'm high on. I think at some point he will crack the rotation, but D'Lo, Austin Reeves is kind of grown into his own. You got Cam Reddish on there, Rui Hachimura, a lot of defenders like Vanderbilt. I'm high on the Lakers. I think the Lakers will be pretty good. I think they'll be the 3rd seed. I think
I
LeBron
think the Lakers are going to be really good. Putting them at number 5 is crazy.
And this is the guy that loves LeBron. So
loves LeBron. He has a LeBron back tattoo.
All right, let's hear y'all's number 2.
Suns.
My number 2 is Denver.
Denver?
Sorry.
Okay. I had Phoenix at 2. Phoenix is going to outscore a lot of teams every single night. You got Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. That's all you need.
Yep.
They'll outscore most opponents. They're going to get to the 3rd quarter by a lot of games, and they're already going to be blowing the other team out by 20 points. It's just that simple. But, I'm curious to see what's going to happen when they're not shooting good and they get into it. I'm curious to see how they look on defense and how their depth looks like and little stuff like that. But, as long as they're healthy, that starting 5 is a competitive one for sure. And I think they'll make it pretty far in the playoffs.
They should, for sure.
Agreed.
100%.
What's your favorite part about the Suns team?
Me? Okay. Personally, I was a Suns fan not too long ago. I'm a huge fan of D-Book. I'm a huge fan of Chris Paul. I even liked when they had Cam Johnson and Payne. I liked that team. I liked that team a lot. That was when they lost to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And after that, they switched the whole team up. And I don't know why they did that, but now I guess it worked in their favor, bringing in Bradley Beal. I love Bradley Beal, but as the game went on, I don't know. I feel like they just got a whole bunch of players that used to be super great, but now they're just super good. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that they're going to be any less dominant. I think they're still going to dominate the league, just not more than the Nuggets.
I just think it's a little different. I mean, you got one of the best rosters in the league, and I mean, I'm saying that starting lineup is top 3 in the league, top 5 in the league. Bradley Beal, Booker, and KD is going to be enough to win you games. And you got Nurkic. Nurkic is a better defender than Ayton, I would say. Probably brings a lot more simplicity to the offense, and he could probably stretch the floor a little better. So I like Phoenix at 2. You can interchange Phoenix at 1. Maybe Phoenix is hungry. They want to get home court advantage in the playoffs. But for number 1, I had the Denver Nuggets, the defending champions. They lost Bruce Brown this offseason, but, they drafted very well the year before and this year. So I think they're just going to reload. Jamal Murray's looking to have a good year, full year back. I think he'll perform a lot better than he did last season in the regular season. I think Jokic is primed to have another big year, barring he doesn't have any major injury. He'll probably be looking to get another MVP under his belt. This is, primed up to win 2-3 more titles. But let me know what y'all think. Y'all think this is the team to beat in the West? Is there any other team that y'all expect to be in the finals other than them?
Between them and the Suns, Lakers could make a jump. It's very possible. LeBron is very unpredictable.
Alan, what you think? Is there any
I
other?
would have to go with the Lakers.
The Lakers, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at this West right now. I think the Lakers are a good spot, and man, y'all better. I don't know. I think I got this I got the faith in Golden State. I want to see Curry probably get another one. I think he's capable of getting another one. I think he can find a way to do it with Chris Paul, but I think Memphis is probably a team, if they can get it all to click. Memphis is a team I can see in the Western Conference Finals and probably even knocking on the door of a NBA final run if they all get it clicking. But yeah, I like what y'all said. I think it's Denver, Phoenix, and LA. Those are the three main contenders in the West. And looking at it in the East, it's Milwaukee, Boston, and then we got a big drop off after that.
Yep.
If y'all had to give me this, we'll end the video off this. But if y'all have to give me y'all's MVP winner, I know Kris ain't here. He didn't get to talk about any of the West, but that's all right. It's late. I get it. Give me y'all's MVP winner for this year.
I would probably go with Jokic. It's the obvious answer. I mean, I don't know.
It's an easy answer. It's a good answer. DeMarco?
I'm gonna go Bron.
Wow.
After being swept, actually,
Let me remind you, Bron is the oldest player in the NBA right now.
he is. He's still a bucket.
He is.
He's still a top 10 player in the league.
I just don't think he's putting up MVP type numbers.
You're right. That was an outrageous answer. What do you think again?
If you're gonna say that, you might as well have said fucking Anthony Edwards or Shea.
I like Giannis. I like Giannis or Luka. I think Giannis is going to have his best season in a while with Damian Lillard. I think he averages 30 points per game this season. And I think Luka's his volume is going to be ridiculous again this year. And I think this is finally the year where he is getting those MVP votes because of voters fatigue, because they're tired of voting Giannis and Jokic every single year. But if Jokic is doing 28, 10, and 10, you best believe he's going to be up there in top 3 in voting.
100%. I believe in that.
Yeah. I'm a Spurs fan. This is a little bit of a stretch, but y'all think Wemby could be doing some MVP type numbers, some Wes Unseld type production? MVP in his rookie year?
MVP in the rookie year is bananas, but I mean, I don't know enough about Wemby yet.
I ain't putting it on him. It was just a crazy hypothetical, but
what is this, NBA 2K?
Yeah. I think last rookie to win the MVP was Wes Unseld. But that was our Western Eastern Conference standings predictions. The regular season starts on Tuesday. Who's playing on Tuesday? Is it Lakers Nuggets? And then Suns Warriors?
Lakers Nuggets.
Yeah, those are the 2 games for Tuesday night. I'm going to be there for the Spurs opening night game versus the Mavericks, so that'll be fun to see in person. Other than that, I appreciate y'all coming out and watching episode 18. I know it was a big one. Looks like it was like an hour and 30 minutes, hour 20 minutes. So I appreciate you, staying tapped in and, watching us too. Shout out to Kris Sneed. He was here most of the video, but he got to cut out. It was pretty late. We'll be back with episode 19 later this week. It'll probably talk about some college football, some NFL. But until then, this was episode 18. And that'll do it. Peace.